What kind of guy turns down a $200 million offer to buy his company? The answer is a quiet visionary at the center of a revolution. 26-year-old Matt Mullenweg grew up in Houston, Texas, the second child of a computer engineer and a stay-at-home mom. You'd probably describe him as a good kid back then, a Boy Scout during high school, sax player in the jazz ensemble, and Catholic church on Sundays. Mullenweg describes himself as shy, unless he was at one of the many tech and computing clubs he was leading.
The Palm Users Group, the Linux Users Group. In high school I had a tech club.
In the last 8 years, Matt's company Automattic has grown to 65 employees, but only a few ever come into the San Francisco office. Matt himself only walks over for the meetings. Most employees work from home, spread over 50 cities. Automattic's flagship product is WordPress, software that allows over 25 million bloggers to publish. WordPress.com is one of the top 20 most visited websites in the world. Everything from the New York Times to the Wall Street Journal magazine to even Perez Hilton can trace their internet success to the quiet kid from Texas. The key to WordPress is that it's easy to use for non-programmers. Mullenweg is aware that the company's pricing has a lot to do with success.
Our products are, by and large, free for use, and then there's premium upgrades you can buy. But we don't sort of see that as a strong funnel. Like, we don't see every free user as just an opportunity to sell them something. We really embrace the free aspect because one of the purposes of Automattic is to democratize publishing for the world.
And the world has responded. WordPress fans have self-organized local meetups called WordCamps, where hundreds of people gather to talk about software.
Our end product is a tool, something used to create a website. The process throughout we create that tool is definitely more of a movement. It has a lot of folks involved, it has strong philosophies and opinions, and it's something that anyone could contribute to and have a good time doing.
Mullenweg's idea and its impact can be felt around the globe. Blogging has resonated with everyone from Olga's Macrame to heavy hitters such as Anderson Cooper's 360, eBay, and Ford.
So people are building really beautiful, amazing websites for their businesses, small business, Fortune 500 companies are doing it.
Any user can build beautiful things from WordPress. Those with programming skills can take it to another level because the software is open source. The user is welcome to change the code, build new code, or add features. WordPress is available for free, but the license says that your improvements should also be available for free. Instead of copyright, it's copyleft.
But it wasn't until probably, maybe even a little after WordPress started, that I really understood the philosophical underpinnings of the open source movement. And around that same time, I came in contact with famous essays by Eric Raymond, like The Cathedral and the Bazaar, or became familiar with the works of Richard Stallman and the Four Freedoms of the GPL.
The GPL, the General Public License, is an agreement that promotes sharing and community improvements. It's what powers projects like the Firefox browser and the website Wikipedia.
One of the freedoms of the GPL is the freedom to use the software for any purpose. And that includes purposes that I might disagree with. So there are people that use WordPress to spam. There's people who use WordPress for hate sites or neo-Nazi sites or all sorts of things. And your first reaction is, man, this is disgusting, right? I mean, it's never good to see something that you pour sort of your heart and soul in to used for what you would consider morally odious purposes. But ultimately, the freedom to use the software for any purpose is far more important than the fact that I might disagree with some folks who use it.
Millions of people use WordPress, and amazingly, there's only been one time that Automattic has had to threaten legal action for a violation of its license. Every other disagreement has been settled through community dialogue.
Because no one wins in a legal situation. It's always long, drawn out, and you're also in the unfortunate situation of being engaged with someone who is building on your platform. But ultimately, the social, sort of the mores of the community handles 99.999% of that.
An undisputed worldwide success, Matt gets a kick out of meeting the people that use his product.
There's nothing I love more than meeting WordPress users, people tied together by this common idea, which I share. Even if we're from totally different parts of the world and backgrounds and everything like that, or even different languages, we have this one thing in common, and that's kind of cool, to be able to go anywhere in the world and meet a WordPress user. the stories that people have about how WordPress has impacted their life or changed how they approach things or how they publish or sometimes even, how they make a living. I find are sort of fuel for my motivation. Hearing those stories gets me up in the morning.